Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity beeby dow.
Well, we're here.
Oh my goodness.
Believe it or not, we're back for another episode of American Brews and Tunes.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been. It's officially 2021.
It sure is.
My name is Stephen Johnston.
My name is Jesse Titus.
And I can't remember if I said American Brews and Tunes or not, but
you did.
That's what this is.
The terrible years behind us, and this one will surely be better. Wink, wink, maybe.
We all thought 2020 was going to be good at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's so true.
And what a year it turned out to be. There was tornadoes and bombs in Nashville.
Yeah, it was particularly bad in Nashville.
Yeah.
Besides
coronavirus.
COVID. Yeah, it's been crazy everywhere.
Political and social unrest.
Yep.
There was a major and very divisive and slightly disturbing election.
Yeah.
The Office was removed from Netflix.
Oh, that's probably the worst one.
Yeah, I think that's what did us all in. Let's be honest.
Well, I just downloaded Peacock for free, the NBC streaming thing.
I did too. Yeah, I didn't sign up to pay, and I think you only get the first 2 seasons of The Office for free.
Okay.
But it's better than nothing.
Well, I got it to watch Psych. That TV
there you
show.
go. I knew you're a big Psych fan.
It's just like watching TV. There, like during the breaks in the episode, they show you really dumb commercials.
Oh, so you actually get commercials?
Yeah, it's like just like an ad on YouTube or whatever it would be.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like what Hulu's like.
Is it?
Not on movies. Like on movies, it'll just start and play the whole way through. But if you watch a TV show, there's still ad breaks.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of slightly annoying because Hulu's not free. You got to pay for it.
Oh, yeah, that is annoying.
But they have everything, so I let it slide.
True.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough going on a tangent there. We're back with another episode.
Yeah. Since we typically would record this specific episode at the very end of the year, but it was kind of got crazy with the holidays, so we're doing this at the beginning of the year. This is our 2020 album of the year, or top 5 albums, whatever you want to call it.
I'm going to call it top 5 albums.
Top 5 albums of 2020. A weird year for music. Yeah,
it definitely was. A lot of artists were out of work.
Yeah.
No shows going on.
I think musical output was a little stifled this year.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it was.
I don't know if artists were hesitant to put out albums or release stuff because maybe it wasn't the right time to do it, or maybe because they couldn't support with a tour following that.
Yeah, maybe, right? Like that could be a reason.
But there are definitely other artists who maybe drew more creativity or had like were more deliberate with their releases, kind of like Jeff Rosenstock.
Yeah.
When he put out No Dream. And Taylor, I don't know if you saw, but Taylor Swift has put out 2 albums this year.
Oh, really?
2 like folky stripped back albums that she wrote and recorded entirely in quarantine.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. Did you listen to them?
Yeah, they're both pretty solid. Not like the pop stuff that she's been doing for the past few albums, but
right.
Bon Iver was on both of them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember you mentioning that.
And it was produced by the 2 guys who recorded and helped co-write it. One of the dudes is from The National.
Right, yep.
The other guy's from Fun.
Oh, the band that you love the most.
They write very catchy music, but it's not my cup of tea. I respect them. It grinds my gears for no rational reason.
I just remember in college, whenever that song would come on, and you would just be like, I hate this song. This is terrible.
There's no reason. It's really a good song. I just don't like it.
I mean, I agree with you. I'm not the biggest fan of Fun either.
But it was popular.
I'm a fan of Fun, just not the band Fun.
Yeah, everybody loves Fun.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't?
Everybody likes good fun, bad fun, any fun, just not the band Fun.
Yeah. Before we get started
into those, Jinx.
We should mention that we're recording this slightly different.
Yeah, you might notice I'm assuming our audio is going to sound a little different, but we are recording remotely.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, we've got this nice little little setup here so that Jesse's at his place, I'm at mine, and we are recording over the web.
Yeah, it's definitely weird just looking at my computer screen while talking to you instead of being in person.
Yeah.
But
It's different, but that's the climate, I guess.
yeah, and that's not the only new thing that we're doing, at least
Yeah,
for the month of January.
and this is I thought about doing sober October last year.
Yeah,
But what was I doing in October? It wasn't being sober.
yeah.
So we decided to do dry January.
Yes,
And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's exactly what you think it is.
it's sober October, but in January.
Yeah, just no alcohol for the month of January.
Yeah,
It's
so
like a
you might.
New Year's resolution that you only have to keep for 1 month.
Yeah, it's perfect. You don't have to keep it the whole year.
So we're gonna just be reviewing some non-alcoholic beers, and I know there's a lot of big ones like Heineken has a non-alcoholic beer. There's O'Doul's, a bunch of other big breweries do that.
I know Busch does.
Yes, they do.
They have an NA beer.
But we're gonna go into the craft version because there's some more and more craft breweries have been coming up with non-alcoholic beers for dry January.
Yeah, is it specifically for that, or are they just doing it because?
Well, I think it is specifically for us because they all kind of came out at the end of December.
Oh, true.
So I'd assume it's for this. Like I'm really curious to see in the coming months, like if by March or April, if you can still find non-alcoholic beers to this extent at stores, because I've been seeing a ton of them.
It will be really interesting. I mean, I'm really curious as to what they will taste like in general.
I've never had a non-alcoholic beer.
Just because I don't know if like taking the alcohol out, does that process in turn like change how a beer is going to taste? Do you think, or is it?
So maybe they just don't add. I don't know because it's still fermented. I really don't know. So I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
This week we're trying the Lagunitas IPNA, non-alcoholic IPA.
Yes.
So
contains less than 0.5% alcohol.
Yeah. Here's what it says on Untapped for the description. Non-alcoholic, full-flavored IPA, dry hopped with Mosaic and Citra hops.
Nice.
This confounding creation uses the same ingredients found in our highly balanced IPA, hops, malt, yeast, water, and thus the same deliciousness, but brewed without the ceremonial fez and ancient incantations that normally take it over the edge. That's one way to put it. Yeah, I just don't know what to expect at all.
Yeah, I really don't either. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to taste slightly different, maybe. It would be interesting to try their regular IPA and this side by side.
I agree. And this isn't their first non-alcoholic beer. They have the Hop Refresher, which is just a seltzer water brewed with hops.
Yeah, that one was really good.
Really good. And I think you can get that one year-round. So we'll see if this one is. I'm going to go ahead and crack mine open.
All right, sounds good. I'll do the same. See if we can't get some good noises here.
It smells like an IPA.
Really?
It smells pretty good. I'm excited, actually.
Oh, yeah, it smells really hoppy. Oh, like a really nice just hop smell. It smells like a hop pellet.
Oh, yes, it does. I've poured mine into my glass, and if you were to tell me that this was a Lagunitas IPA, I'd say looks like one to me. I mean, it's got the perfect like dark, like a kind of amberish orangish color.
Yeah.
It's got a pretty good head on it, and it's retaining it.
Yeah. The head, does the head look more bubbly to you than normal?
Maybe slightly, but not like. I don't know.
Don't beers get their carbonation from whenever the yeast interacts with the sugar?
From that, or they can, I believe, force carbonate it when they right before they bottle it or keg it.
Yeah, so I wonder if they had to force carbonate this.
Potentially, because depending on what they did with the yeast and whatnot.
But it smells pretty good.
Looks crystal clear. Like, yeah, I'd expect a regular style IPA to look.
Yeah, if I had to give it a rating on smell alone, I would say it's like a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'd agree.
It's a good smell.
Let's say we give this a over the web cheers try.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay.
As we always say on American Brews and Tunes,
Shit.
Slightly off.
I think it got a little bit laggy there for a second.
Probably. I was trying to match up with yours. But
I know.
Here it goes.
I was doing the same thing. Yeah, let's give it a shot.
There's the clink with myself.
Oh, it definitely changed.
It doesn't have the maltiness that I'd expect.
It doesn't. It's the body isn't as full.
Yeah, the body is very thin.
Yeah.
And I'm not really getting much of the malt backbone that I would expect to carry these hops, but the hops are definitely there.
The hops are for sure there. The hops taste nice.
It's weird, but I kind of like this.
It tastes a lot like their hop refresher.
It does,
like
but
little
more flavorful.
bit more flavor. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, does it taste like a beer? Not really.
I mean, it does, doesn't it?
Kind of. I mean, yeah, it's got the hop. It's the missing malt. I think that don't really put it. That doesn't really sell it 100% for me.
Yeah, I agree.
If they didn't tell me what this was, poured it in a glass, and gave it to me, I'd say that's a very strange tasting beer.
Yeah.
So I guess, I guess it does taste like a beer in that regard.
It does, yes, but it does not.
They had more malt to balance it out, but maybe that's how they get rid of the alcohol by stripping out some of that malt sugar. I don't know.
They must, yeah. That would make sense to me anyway.
Not getting that little bit of caramely backbone I'd expect, but all in all, I
all
like
it. It's fine.
Yeah, if you're going to do dry January and not drink beer, this is a great substitute.
Yeah, if you really, really want that hop flavor, this is a good beer.
It's refreshing.
I gave it a 3 on Untapped.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid rating. And this would actually be good in the summertime too, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crisp. I don't have a real lingering in the hops, but it's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of like like being slapped with like a pool noodle.
Yeah, I guess so.
It doesn't, or like inflate like the sock and boppers or whatever.
Yeah,
it doesn't really hurt, but you feel it still.
Yeah, it's definitely there, and it's not going to knock you over.
Yeah, it doesn't pack a huge punch, but it just gives you a nice little love tap in the hop part of your brain.
You can have a whole 6-pack and still drive home.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I'd want to have 6 of these in a row, though.
No, it might get kind of weird.
Yeah, I think so.
I think one will probably be enough for me.
Yeah. But I'm curious to see what other non-alcoholic beers we have over this month.
Yeah, same here. I'm excited to try more. As a little look into the future, I know we got like a dark ale, right?
Yeah, another IPA and a hazy IPA.
Yeah, so I'm really interested, especially after tasting this one and how like there wasn't too much of a backbone. I'm really interested to try the dark
stout
ale
one. Yeah. I'm curious. Yeah, we'll see how they do it. But enough about that. Let's talk about our favorite albums.
Yeah,
I picked 5, and I'm just going to go in order from 5 to 1. And I also have a bunch of honorable mentions because I had a hard time picking.
Okay.
But I'll just start with my number 5. I don't think that this is in yours. It's Tickets to My Downfall by Machine Gun Kelly.
That is not in mine.
Yeah, I really would have been surprised. I don't have that much experience with him, Machine Gun Kelly. And
neither do I.
To be honest, I wasn't a big fan of his. Like I had heard some of the rap stuff. I was like, meh. But I knew Travis Barker was producing this one. It's like his pop punk album.
Yes.
And it's severely overproduced and really compressed.
Yeah.
And it's fairly cheesy throughout also.
Yeah.
It's earnest.
The only reason that I know it, that I've heard of it, is because I followed Travis Barker on Instagram.
He posted all over about this album, yeah.
So, I mean, I'll say that's the only reason that I knew about it. And from the little bit that I have listened to, It's exactly what you say it is. It's like kind of cheesy and really overproduced, and
It is. And
which I
Anthony
mean, if you like it,
Fantano, I don't know if you remember him. Anthony Fantano, he reviews
yeah.
music, and he put it in his top 10 worst albums of the year. um,
That's funny.
and I don't know. I just kind of I liked it. It was fun.
Yeah.
You don't really go into it like expecting the best thing in the world, but I ended up enjoying it, and it brought me back to listen to it quite a few times. So
Okay. Yeah.
that's
There
why I
you
put it
go.
in my number 5. If
There you go.
you were to check out one song from there, I would say check out Title Song. That's literally what
Ticket.
it's called.
Oh, it's called title song. I thought you meant like it was called "Tickets to My Downfall."
I mean,
Because isn't that
the chorus says "Tickets to My Downfall," but instead of calling the song "Tickets to My Downfall," they called it "Title Song,"
okay?
which
Ooh,
is I don't know. They're trying to be witty, I guess.
who knows?
The song is better than the title.
Okay, I think that's the one song that I have heard from that album.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll listen to it at some point.
Maybe.
Probably not though.
You want me to just to go straight through my list and then you'll do yours?
Sure. Yeah, we can do that.
Because we're gonna have some overlap. Probably especially with my number 4, which is "Pairs by Pairs."
Yes, that is also a part of my list.
I'll only talk
If
about
you-
it a little bit then.
If you guys listen to our episode about our Spotify and review, then you will know that this is definitely in my list.
Yeah, I knew this was your top 5, but I'm assuming it's probably got a higher place for you than me. I don't know
Yeah,
that.
mine's-
We'll find out.
Well, I didn't really give them rankings like you did.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
But-
I don't know. I thought it was a really solid album. It's like their signature sound just continued.
Yeah, definitely.
We got that like the breakneck speeds, a lot of stops and changes, and those little rewarding nuggets of melody.
Yeah.
If you were to check out one song, I'd say check out "Comfortably Dumb."
I would say check out I think Dial Up.
That's probably one of my favorites because they do all the fun little interpolations of other songs.
Yeah.
But like if I was trying to get someone to get into Pairs who maybe never has, "Comfortably Dumb."
I see what you're saying.
I think that has like the longest melodic section.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the least out there, perhaps.
Yeah. I agree with you. But yeah, I really enjoyed that album a lot.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I really liked their previous album as well, Green Star. But
Also
then
fantastic.
this album just kind of took it to the next level, I think.
And it's just the production is so much better.
Yeah, in terms of like production and in terms of like consistency, like I enjoy every single song off of their self-titled.
Agreed.
Not that I didn't enjoy every song off of Green Star, but
There was a couple songs that weren't as strong for sure on Green Star, though.
yeah.
If we're being honest.
I also agree with you. This is a fantastic album. If you're looking to get into some melodic hardcore music, give it a listen.
Absolutely. My third top album is RTJ4 by Run the Jewels.
Yes, nice. I actually still have to listen to that.
Yeah, you got to listen to it. I don't know how this was not nominated for a Grammy because it was like a huge commercial and critical success.
Yeah.
And it had like super timely social and political messages. And
Yeah.
typically that's what they look for, I would think.
I would assume so, right?
But I don't know. From my understanding, the people who like the Academy, whoever that is, historically has a bad rap for picking rap albums.
Who even is the Academy?
I don't know. It's a bunch of like people wearing suits in a dark room, I think.
It's like they're like mobsters or something.
Yeah, they probably don't even listen to music. I think they just look at the Billboard charts and
They just look at
album
numbers and
sales.
stuff.
Yeah,
You would hope that they don't just do that, but I mean, I guess there's so much music being produced now. They have to narrow it down somehow, right?
yeah.
Who knows? I'm not a fan of award shows like that, but
I only like awards whenever my favorite groups win, but otherwise I don't care for it. The Grammys is good for the live performances because they usually will match up some artists and kind of have some fun things, but the rest of the show, meh.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah, but RTJ4 was super duper awesome. And the one thing that, like I was saying, the social political thing, they had a song about cops killing black people, and this was written, I think, in late 2019 but it came out
Yeah.
right after the murder of George Floyd.
Yeah.
And when you listen to the lyrics, it sounds like it was written after the murder of George Floyd. So it's
Yeah. But it was not.
eerie and heavy.
Yeah. I remember when you showed me that song.
Yeah, so there's definitely some like real heavy songs like that, but there's also some like bangers that are just fun to listen to.
Hmm.
I think it's a lot more compact and heavier hitting than their last album, which was good and bad depending on how you look at it. But I don't know, maybe we'll get to see them live one day. Who knows? If you want to check out
Hopefully.
any songs from there, I would recommend Out of Sight or Walking in the Snow.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to check out that full album. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, I definitely need to.
Number 2, we're
Number
getting there,
2.
guys.
Just about
I'm
that.
Separate by Band-Aid Brigade.
I forgot that came out this year. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's the first thing I wrote about it. It's like I said this album feels like a classic because and this is what I wrote down. I've played it to death, reincarnated it, and played it even more. It doesn't even seem like it came out this year because
I know.
I've just played it so much and it seems like an old album at this point.
It seems like that is the way a lot of albums are this year, or just this past year in general. Just
I agree.
it seems like it went by so fast. Like
It went by
feels
so
like
fast, but it also was the longest year ever.
yeah, it feels like just yesterday that it was January in 2020.
Yeah.
Super weird.
What's even weirder is I relate things as if it was still like February or March of 2020.
Yeah.
Like if someone says, "Oh, that movie came out in December of 2019," I think to myself, "Oh, that was only a few months ago."
Yeah.
But nope, it's
Right.
well over
It's
a year ago now.
like time just stood still in March.
Yeah, but Band-Aid Brigade put this one out. I believe it was in January, early January, maybe mid to late January, but
I think so.
earlier this year. It's such a good album from Brian Wallstrom and Zach Quinn.
Yeah.
They take a bunch of different genres and blend them into these really uniquely different sounding songs that I'd say all the songs sound different, but they fit onto a cohesive album.
Yeah, they do a really good job of diversifying the, I guess I'll use the term vibe of each song.
Yes.
vibe or feel of each song.
Each song's vibing.
Yeah. I'm not with the terms the children are using these days. But I believe
fleeky vibes.
The vibes are on fleek for this album for sure.
They're all fleeked out.
All fleeked out.
But a great album.
I also really like that album a lot.
If I had to pick out 2 songs to recommend, it would either be Everything or Break the Grid.
Yes, both of those are good.
Right. And I'm going to honorably mention several albums here and just give one sense about why I'm honorably mentioning them.
Okay, go for it.
There are 6 of them. AC/DC's new album, Power Up.
Yep.
Kind of surprising because their last 2 albums didn't do too terribly much for me. And frankly, most of their more like contemporary albums don't do too much for me. But for some reason, I really liked this one. So if you like classic rock, check it out. Revolution Spring by the Suicide Machines.
Oh, right. I forgot that album came out too.
It's their first album in 15 years, and it rocks.
Nice.
Next is the West Coast to Wessex, the split from Frank Turner and Noah Flex. Having to say that full title is West Coast to Wessex, the split from Frank Turner and NoFX.
Yes.
That one, like Frank Turner's covers of the NoFX songs are so good. That's such a solid half of the album.
Yeah, I agree.
And NoFX's covers of Frank Turner songs are good, but not great.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I didn't recommend it as my top 5. Get Dead's album, Dancing with the Curse. They're a band that I wasn't really a fan of, but then I heard this album and I was like, this rocks.
I haven't listened to that band either.
It's worth checking out. Yeah. Fat Mike talked that album up a lot, and so I checked it out and I was like, maybe he was right.
Nice.
2020 Vision by Anti-Flag. That also came out at the beginning of the year.
Right.
But it talked about like all this political divisiveness, and it was in some ways similar to, but not as timely as Run the Jewels, and kind of predicting some things that were going to happen.
Right.
Pedals for Armor by Haley Williams. Super Duper's solo album, and that it seems like that was from several years ago, but
Yeah,
nope, that was
same.
2020. And my last honorable mention is "Dive" by I'm the Avalanche.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, I've been listening to that album heavily recently.
Same. I think if that had come out early in the year, it might have made my top 5. But there's other things that I've just been rotating so much more.
Yeah.
My number one album, which seems like it came out definitely more than a year ago, is "Circles" by Mac Miller.
Oh, that's my number one as well, or that's the one that I wrote down first.
Yeah,
I'll say.
like I forgot it was a 2020 album.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking about what albums I was going to mention today, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Circles came out this year, right?"
Yeah, doesn't
Or
seem like
last
it.
year.
Yeah, 2020. Like it's so weird. And we talked about this. We have a whole episode devoted to that if you want to check it out. But such a really good album
Yeah, it's
for
just
a whole bunch of
fantastic.
reasons. Yeah, there's sadness, there's happiness, there's quote unquote bangers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love for the. I think I said it on the podcast that we did about it, but I'd love to hear anything else that they might put out from the Mac Miller vault, just in case there is anything. But
Yeah,
if there isn't, I'm beyond content with this as his
Yeah.
final album.
for sure.
Yeah, I'd say check out Blue World or Good News if you wanted to check out any particular
Yes.
songs.
Yes, Blue World was one of my favorites off of that album.
Such a good one.
Yeah. Well,
That's my list. So let's hear what you have.
head on
in
over to
addition
my
Pears
list.
and the good old
Yeah,
Mac.
so our overlap was Mac Miller and Pears. Jeff Rosenstock's album No Dream was one of my favorites.
I thought about putting that into either my top 5 or my honorable mentions, but I didn't.
I thought it was a really good follow up, or kind of not really like a follow up to what was his last album called? I can't think of it right now. Post, right? It
Like
was
a
a
sequel.
good, it was almost like a sequel or kind of a going back to his interesting like flavor on punk.
Yeah. It's a
But,
really
it was,
strange dynamic between those two albums because Post I didn't love immediately and there was a lot of long songs, but I listened to it and then grew to love it.
yeah,
But No Dream I kind of enjoyed quite a bit like from my first listen.
yes. It was No Dream is much faster, a little bit less experimental, more, I don't want to say safe, but like more what you would expect from Jeff Rosenstock.
Back to basics, perhaps.
Yeah, back to basics is a good way to put it.
Which is not a problem in my book.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that album, and I also forgot that album came out this year.
I did too.
So many albums that I forgot came out this year.
What a year.
Yeah, just a ridiculous year. Another album that I really liked this year was From Exile, the album from the Menzingers, where
I forgot about that too.
they took their song album Hello Exile and made a bunch of acoustic tracks, acoustic covers of their songs. And I think they recorded that in quarantine, right?
Yeah, which kind of matches the title From Exile almost.
Right.
Kinda
Yeah.
little play on that. That was a good album. I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's a
They-
fantastic album.
Yeah, they deliberately, like, instead of just playing acoustic covers of the electric songs, they changed arrangements, added
Yeah.
instrumentations, and I think they switched up some of the lyrics here and there.
Yeah, they switched up some lyrics. They changed like the melodies a little bit. They kept the general structure of a lot of the melodies, but changed up like the rhythm.
Yeah, like
Um,
even on like America, You're Freaking Me Out. If you know like the big booming chorus and that melody, if you went into the acoustic version on From Exile and tried to sing along, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, they changed it up quite nicely on that album. And I don't know, I thought that was really cool that they decided to do that, since they weren't like able to play shows or anything like that. They just said, "Hey, we'll re-record some songs, change them up, and make them acoustic, and release that." I thought that was very cool.
Yeah, that was a good. I completely forgot about that album, but really it was a solid one all around.
As far as other albums that I wrote down, this is going to be kind of from left field for me personally, because I don't. It's a Christian artist. It's John. His name is John Mark McMillan. If
Oh
you if
yeah,
you have listened to Christian music a lot, you'll definitely know his name. But he came out with an album this year called "Peopled with Dreams," and I thought it was. There are a couple reasons why I really like this album. It is not your typical like worship music. It's not your typical Christian music where they have like really catchy choruses that the entire church can sing along with. He doesn't use like traditional like chord structures and traditional instrumentation. He uses a lot of different like new sounding things, or not new sounding, but it almost has like an 80s feel to the album.
so not
Uh,
standard CCM.
yes, not standard CCM music. So I really like that. I like him as an artist. He's pretty cool, and he's not like a lot of Christian artists are very, I guess, like preachy is a word
Yeah,
that you could
yeah.
use. And he's not really like that. Like his music's not like that. So I appreciate that.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, maybe I'll recommend it sometime. It's a pretty good album.
Okie dokie.
And I have one other album to mention before we wrap this episode up. Bob Dylan released a new
Oh
album
yeah,
this past year
Bob
called
Dylan.
called "Rough and Rowdy Ways." I didn't,
Assassination of JFK.
yeah, I didn't spend like a whole lot of time listening to it, but from what I did listen, I really liked it. He is definitely still the old Bob Dylan. Like, what I mean by that is that he's old, and he
Yep,
sings. He has
and he's Bob Dylan.
his register is very squished and small. But I'm still amazed that after 50 years, he's still writing new music and still able to write original songs that are not what he's written before.
It's well over 50 years, right?
Yeah, I mean, I know his first albums came out in the 60s. Oh, you're right, 60 years.
Yeah,
Oof. I
at
forgot.
least 60 years. Yeah.
I was judging that based on 2010, honestly. Whenever I graduated high school, I was like, yeah, 60, 2000, 2010, 50 years.
Well, when you said that, I was thinking, well, Bad Religion just celebrated their 40 years, so that they can't only have been doing music for 10 years less than Bob Dylan.
Yeah, definitely, yes. Yeah, 60 years, right, because it's 2020.
Yeah, he's
Uh,
still killing it. Did you see he sold all of his catalog, like um, the the rights?
really?
Yeah, maybe a month or two ago,
Really?
he sold all of his publishing and songwriting um, royalty collection rights, whatever you want to call it,
To who?
to I don't remember. It was a major, like maybe Sony or Warner. I don't remember specifically who, but it was like several hundreds of millions of dollars.
Dang,
Yeah, that's really out there.
that's
I mean, he
crazy.
doesn't he doesn't need that money, but he
No,
has it.
isn't it? This just came to mind because what's the rule in for what's it called fair use, or like whenever it goes to the general public?
Public domain.
Is it 70 years after the artist dies?
Yes, yeah. So life of the author plus 70.
So potentially, if we you and I live long enough, we could hear or maybe see Bob Dylan's music like from the early 60s go into public domain
Yeah. Well, I mean, if
if he
he
dies,
dies,
which obviously he's going to live forever. So I mean,
like, if he died today in 70 years, we'd be able to play his songs public domain style.
yeah, and then I would be 99.
yeah,
99 years old.
yeah, we'd be almost 100. I didn't think about that.
So potentially we could live that long, maybe.
What would be more exciting, being like aspect of being a centurion, or like having public domain Bob Dylan?
I don't
You
know, man.
decide.
Yeah, you decide. Would you rather, or yeah, I guess what would you be more excited about? I suppose by that time you probably wouldn't really care how old you are, right?
Yeah. Well, if I was that age and I was sharp enough to think of the prospect of Bob Dylan songs entering public domain, then I would be happy just to be
Yeah.
that aware.
Not aware at that age. Yeah, for sure. I just think it'll be interesting to have Bob Dylan's folk songs from the 60s be in public domain.
That's so weird. I mean, it'll happen. It's going to happen with everybody's songs eventually.
Yeah, true.
Unless society collapses and we all die.
Yeah, what's more likely? We make it to 100 years old or society is gone by then?
Well, with everything that's going on, I think society might be disappearing soon.
Let's hope not. But
I hope not.
It might.
But anyways, looking towards the next episode, we're going to do a one-off.
Yes.
Of the album that I mentioned very briefly in my honorable mentions, Dive by I Am the Avalanche.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I really enjoy this album quite a bit.
Yeah. I was going to say something about it, but I'll wait till next week to say it.
We'll keep all of our thoughts on it until then.
Yeah. Final thoughts on this beer? Or non-alcoholic beer, whatever you want to call it?
I'm halfway through right now. And
I mean, it tastes exactly the same.
I'll definitely finish it.
Same. But I wouldn't really seek it out ever again unless
you really want like a hop flavor. Like they say that it tastes like an IPA, but I mean it's hoppy. So. It's hoppy. That's what it is.
I'd like to compare this side by side with their hop refresher, that seltzer water, just to kind of see how it compares.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I feel like you're gonna get a little bit more body with this beer, right? Like just a
agreed, yeah. More. Agreed.
Like I guess this has the mouthfeel, like the aftertaste of a beer in a way.
Yeah. I remember the other one being a little more. Yeah, I remember the hop refresher being almost like a little citrusy.
Yeah,
but that could have just been the hops giving a little bit of that citrus flavor. I don't know.
Either way, that's what we're going to be doing next week, and it's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, and we'll look forward to doing that episode. So, as we always do when we sign off on American Brews and Tunes.
Yeah, we get a second shot at this now, Steve.
We get a second shot. So don't listen to my voice. We'll just say 1, 2, 3, and then
go.
1, 2, 3. I went too fast, but that's okay.
It's so weird trying to do that over.
Maybe next episode we'll get it better.
Yeah. We'll have to practice. We'll rehearse next time beforehand.
Yeah. Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. My name's Steven Johnston.
And my name is Jesse Titus.
And this is American Brews and Tunes.
Peace.
Here's a theme song, you know it's not a mean song. It's a good song, just as it should song. American Brews and Tunes. Shibbity-beeby